So this is an old Ace Hardware lawnmower, of course made by MTD, powered by a 3.5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton. This thing hasn't ran in probably like 20 plus years. I'm gonna see if we can get it going. Problems I already know. I haven't even tried to start it because obviously got a recoil spring issue. The fuel tank is rusted out and there's like zero compression. So should be interesting. It's a 20-inch. Safety standards, OPEI safety standard from 1977. So I believe, if I remember right, I've had this cover off before and looked at the date code on the engine. I think it's a 79 on the engine, but I'll have to double check that. So I'd probably date this mower from about, I'd say at least, I'd say 1980. Somewhere in there. I do have the grass catcher for it. Not in the best of shape, but at least I have the frame. And I have the owner's manual as well, so that's kind of neat. I'm going to start tearing into this thing here and we'll get back as we go along. So I got it up on the back of the on the workbench, which is the back of my truck, my tailgate. Just wanted to show you real quick just how dirty this thing is. It's been pretty much outdoors, outside for quite a few years. It was stored partially underneath of an upside down boat for some years, but eventually it got left out. And then it was briefly shoved underneath of an old mobile home, but has not been stored well, obviously. I'll just show you a little bit how it looks. We can do a good before and after. Also realized our spark plug wire end there is gone too. And there's the rubber boot for it. I have had this off before. I've taken the governor spring out to use on another lawnmower, but so that's off. But other than that, I haven't done anything else on this yet. There's all the dirt on there. Alright, we'll be back. Well, I got a few parts off. Got the ugly plastic cover off. See the real engine now. Notice it's got the paint's peeling up, unfortunately. Something about a cubic inch, that's different. I don't think I've seen one of those before on one of these. Pretty sure that's a replacement, not original starter housing there. Like I said earlier, I took the spring has been off of here for a while, the governor spring. Throttle shaft is stuck. Surprisingly, the choke actually is opening and closing, which is a surprise for how long this thing's been sitting out. This tank is definitely shot. I don't know if you can see that, but it's no good. But that's not a problem. So we're gonna go and pull the starter off, I think. I'm going to probably pull this off, because I know that's got to come off anyway. And I'm probably going to pull this head, because I'm almost 100% certain it's a stuck valve that's stuck open, because there's zero compression. Hearing the air from the breather coming up the breather tube into the carburetor, that's what you're hearing, but other than that, there's no compression. So we're going to get this thing pulled apart and we'll come back. That's pretty rusty. Ouch. It's definitely got water in there. That's not good. Well, got the top off. Has a mouse nest. Getting his head off is going to be interesting though. Ouch! Blackberries. Since the mower deck is so close there. Oh well, we'll see. Okay, well, I had to pull all the bolts out of the motor and turn it sideways, because there was no way I was getting the ratchet in there, take the bolts out. So we got the bolts out. We're going to see what it looks like. Yeah. Well, it has a stuck valve, like I figured. I have to get some rags and clean this up. Oh boy, that valve does not look good. Alright. Yeah, that's pretty bad. But wow. You probably can't see this on camera, but there's still cross hatching on the cylinder. That's pretty neat. Wow. Some light scoring, but this mower doesn't have that many hours on it. Bet you that intake valve's toast though. We'll clean it up a bit and we'll be back. Well, kind of got it where it's almost closed, but not 100%. I'm gonna go ahead and just gonna pull it out, and I'm gonna look at it and actually see what the valve face looks like in the seat face. I just want to check it out, make sure it's not pitted too bad. I may even pull the exhaust and check the exhaust as well. So I got my valve spring compressor. I'm gonna try to pull that out. And I remove the intake manifold pipe. Kind of see, it's probably hard to see. So pulling that, of course I have to remove that, because you can't pull it out. As you can see, it's dented in. You can't pull it out because it gets stuck under that, under the coil there. So so I sprayed WD-40 down in there. I sprayed it, and then of course, you rotate it till it's released, and you can usually check that. You can move the lifter back, push the lifter back. And of course, the valve was here, so and there you could see the gap. And then I tapped on it lightly with the plastic hammer, got it to go back in, but it's not seated all the way in yet. I could probably get it there and it would work, but like I said, I'm going to just go ahead and pull it out because I want to check the valve face. So yeah, this thing's getting already turned into a big job, but it's not too bad. I kind of expected to mess with the valve because it was stuck. I'd hoped maybe I'd just be able to spray some WD-40 in there, get it in there, but it's just so dirty. So okay, I'm gonna pull that out and we'll be back. Okay, so we pulled the valve out. It it doesn't look too good. So I'm probably just gonna buy a new valve. They're not that expensive. You can get them pretty easily for these still. So I'm just gonna go ahead and order a new valve. It's way too pitted. I don't want to mess with it. It's rough. It's like one of the roughest I've seen. I can get that to focus. Not to mention the stem's pretty pitted too. But I mean, you could. I started sanding it with some light grit sandpaper, and you could polish it up and make it work. But that's just too bad for me. I'm not gonna mess with that. So I'm just gonna get a new valve. So I guess this is gonna have to. You're gonna have to look for a part 2 on this one.